we're excited to have Matt Sherman, owner of Three Pillars Media, with us today in the Strive office. And we're going to chat with him a little bit. They own a video production company and media agency, and so wanted to kind of pick his brain for you guys to learn a little bit more as you develop your promo video for your business or organization. So, Matt, kind of wanted to go through what's the conversation with a client when they decide they want to do a video with you guys.
Yeah, typically that conversation starts with them, saying, "Hey, this is what we want to do," and then we kind of turn it back to them and say, "Well, why is it that you want to do that? What are the goals that you have? Is it we just want awareness that our company exists, or is there certain products that we're trying to sell? Maybe it's an irrigation company, and it's, well, we have this new plastic pipe that's coming out, and we want to sell that. We have to sell 5,000 units this summer. That's very specific. And that changes the story a lot more than just we want people just to know that this irrigation company exists for future. And so that's usually the first part. I'd say after that, we then kind of dig into who are their customers. Is this somebody who is are they marketing to somebody who's 16 years old, or if somebody who's maybe 80 years old? There's, the music that you use is going to be very different. The editing style that you use, you're going to be a lot faster or a lot slower, those types of things. So it's just learning everything you can about that company is usually how we start out.
That's great advice, I think. And that's kind of what we've talked about with the teams and all the other aspects of your marketing campaign. And I feel the video is going to be the most important. You're going to spend the most time on it. So, get as much as feedback as you can from your business that you're working with. So what advice do you have for students creating this 2 to 5 minute video kind of, would you have for these guys that, they don't have the fancy camera software, editing software, but just kind of some basic, video, production, video shooting tips?
Yeah. The story is the most important part. It's the story that you tell. It doesn't matter the quality. There's things that you have to get right. Audio is one of those. And actually, audio might be the most important. Is that if they can't hear the story, then it doesn't really matter what that story is. But after that, it's the story. It's the message that you're telling that is so vital. The video quality, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be using that $50,000 camera to tell a great story. There's a lot of commercials now. I think it was like Lexus or somebody shot their entire commercial with an iPhone. And that shows that the camera isn't the most important part. It was the message, and lighting was very big. Even an iPhone will shoot good quality video, but you have to have good lighting to do it. Whereas, if you're outside, you usually have good lighting. But just staying down to that message, writing it down, going over it with the person that you're working with, and just making sure that's there first. So.
Perfect. Now, I think that gives you guys some good advice, kind of some guidelines for creating your video. We'll post some projects that Three Pillars Media has created onto the community for you guys to check out and their website. But just kind of wanted to have some fun with the interview a little bit so they can get to know you. And you're calling yourself now what? A media,
marketing production.
Marketing production.
So,
what's been the favorite, most fun, highlight project you've done at Three Pillars?
No one project sticks out, but there's just been a lot of fun things that have gone along with those projects. So, like one of them was going up to into Memorial Stadium and doing an interview with Tom Osborne, when he was the athletic director. That was a lot of fun. A lot of respect for him, and so that was great. And working with a lot of those athletes as well, working with an organization, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, with Roy Halou and Eric Haig and a lot of other athletes over the years. That's been a lot of fun. But on the other side, we've had a lot of some clients where we've had to do some traveling, and so that's a lot of fun. Just we've traveled to New York, New Jersey, Nashville, California, Texas, and in those trips, I mean, usually maybe the project isn't the most outstanding, but just the camaraderie with the people that we get to meet and the people we travel with is really fun.
Very cool. Just for again to have some fun here, and then we'll wrap this up. Best video camera that you're using or have used. And that's evolved, I think, from when you first started, right?
Yeah, I mean, every camera you have, is usually the best, but it's always never as good as you want it to.
Yeah, yeah.
But right now, we use a Canon C100. I think is what it is.
I think that's what you said earlier.
C100, yeah. And it's a lot of fun. It's a nice camera. Probably my favorite was an older one that we had was it was a Sony Z7. Okay. Still a great camera, but especially shooting sports was a lot of fun, and it had the autofocus and a big zoom. And
cool.
I used to shoot a lot of sports, and so that was a fun camera to have.
And that Canon C100 is a DSLR, correct? It
is not.
Okay.
It is similar, but it's not a DSLR. It's video only.
Okay.
And so it has XLR ports for your microphone to plug right in, and a lot of those types of things.
Cool.
But it is video only.
Okay. And then the last question, and I know this has changed for you as well, but best video editing software, and I guess you could kind of talk about the switch you guys made at 3 Pillars.
Yeah, so we had made the switch. I think when I first started video editing was with Adobe Premiere 1.0. A long time ago. You may not have even been born at that time, which I guess now I'm feeling old. But then eventually Apple came out with Final Cut Pro, and that was the standard for us for years and years until maybe a couple of years ago we finally made the switch back to Adobe Premiere. Just with video cameras, DSLRs, and those types of things were advancing so fast, and Adobe Premiere was the one that was kind of keeping up, and now Final Cut's back to the point where they're competitive again, but we're still using Adobe Premiere.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt, for popping in here at the office and chatting a little bit. And hopefully this really helped you guys and will help you plan out your promotional video for your marketing campaign. Again, if you guys have any questions, you can comment on the community and or email us. And I'm sure if you do have a question direct for Matt, we could get a hold of him and he could help you guys out as well. So have a great week and get going on that video.